briefings. We want to have them in areas that we want people to know about. That's why we're here. So this is one of our city's senior centers. We're going to talk about all the different senior centers and feature seniors today. The meal program behind me is very popular, and the drive-through is faster than fast food. So folks actually really appreciate it, and we're doing over 1,000 meals a day right now all over the city. So more on that in just a minute. Let me go through our normal program with respect to some updates from around central New Mexico. Then we'll talk about some government continuity items, as well as updates from the city. And then we'll talk about seniors during the time of Corona, and we'll go through the rest of our program as usual. So some updates from our Joint Information Center from around the city. First, our environmental health inspectors and code inspectors have been in touch with our major grocers, and they're really just making sure that all the appropriate sanitary conditions are being followed. They're also making sure that they're following the guidelines with respect to restriction on key items. And so, again, our city environmental health team and code inspectors are providing guidelines and making contact to make sure they're following all the right public health orders. So far, we haven't had any issues with that, but we're beginning that piece of enforcement. P&M Resources Foundation want folks to know they're offering a $200,000 community safety grant opportunity to qualifying 501c3s, with the preference given to organizations that are implementing a COVID-19 response program for the community's most at-risk senior population. Another great connection to what we're talking about today, and appreciate P&M for helping to step up with that, and the nonprofits who can do that too. P&M is also partnering with the Albuquerque Community Foundation and the United Way. They're donating $10,000 to the Emergency Action Fund, which offers short-term funding to organizations supporting those impacted by COVID-19. Our New Mexico Public Health Department wants you to know that the offices are still operating. This actually is a very important announcement for those who need services with respect to WIC and birth certificates, family planning, and STD screening services. Those are all still open and available as they would be before. For more information, check out nmhealth.org. I also want to give a quick shout out to Turner Manufacturing. We are now starting to work with a lot of local companies who are assisting in different ways. Turner Manufacturing has been helping make disinfectants for departments that we're using all over the city on super short notice. Thank you so much, Turner Manufacturing. Also want to note that our testing site, our largest testing site run by Presbyterian out of Balloon Fiesta, has the shortest wait times in the city. So if you have been pre-screened and you meet the criteria, that is a great place to go right now. They have lots more capacity. So again, we're directing everyone who has been pre-screened, key criteria, make sure you have been pre-screened, then head out to the Balloon Fiesta. And again, that's the shortest place, shortest wait times in central New Mexico right now out there. Okay, a couple of items. One, I want to give folks a heads up. In a few minutes, we're going to be talking about plastic bags. So those of you, especially in the media community, who have questions on that, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Before we get to that, I want to mention a couple of items. We want to highlight some things that our government continues to do. Our finance department and HR department, but especially finance and treasury, payroll, et cetera, at the city of Albuquerque has been working very hard, and they've actually been recognized. We won a national award, the Certificate of Excellence in Citizen-Centric Reporting for fiscal year 2019. This is the first time Albuquerque has ever won. And so congratulations to everyone, from our CFO, Sanjay Bhakta, especially to Pam Finale, our city treasurer, and the finance department, Renee Martinez, who have been working hard on that. And also want to recognize, of course, as being the former state auditor, this award is actually really important to us, and so we're very proud of that. And it just demonstrates that we continue to be good stewards of public funds. Okay, now some city service updates at this time. I think we only have really one major update today. It's one I've been getting a lot of calls about. So I met with our grocers over the phone. I think it was last night or the night before. It was 2 days ago. And they talked to me a little bit about the situation with respect to plastic bags. And so first I want to let folks know really three things with respect to plastic bags. Number one, The city today will be officially lifting the ban on plastic bags for 30 days. And we're doing this because we want to make this whole time easier on everyone. That means customers, that also means workers, and it also means our grocers who are playing a critical role right now. So we're doing this really just to make things easy. So you can use any kind of bag you want. You can bring your own, you can use paper, you can use plastic, it doesn't matter for 30 days. Now I do want to highlight one myth. Our public health folks can speak to this more directly, but we want to be clear that reusable bags are not a health issue. We have spoke to our grocers. We want to ease the burden on them, but we also want to let folks know it's okay to bring your own bags. It always helps if you wash them, but it is not a health issue. I did notice a New York Times article this morning with some details on this. There's a lot of misinformation out there. So again, we are lifting that ban for 30 days, but we are also being clear there is no documented evidence of any kind about reusable bags being a health issue. We also want to put folks on notice. After we get through this corona period, we were planning on tightening the plastic bag ban, and we are going to continue to do that. So I do want to put our big box folks on notice, especially Walmart. This is a ban on plastic bags. Just because you make them thicker, that's not going to work starting this summer. So we're going to come out with some regs on that. Appreciate City Council for the legislation they passed. It gives us a lot of flexibility. Also, especially our President, Councilor Pat Davis, I know has been talking to folks about this. We all know the intent of that ban, and we are going to be clamping down on the kind of end arounds that the big box stores have been using. But in the meantime, you can use any bag you want. All right, so the city is also doing a lot with respect to seniors. That's what we're focusing on today. This is our most vulnerable population, not only to the virus, but also to the response, and also in general tends sometimes to be correlated with income levels where meals are important no matter what. And I know, excuse me, my parents actually are elderly. I've been checking on them every couple of days. But there are lots of folks who no longer have a direct family connection. That's why this is so important right now. And so our senior centers are temporarily serving lunch distribution. They're a temporary distribution site for meals from 11:30 to 1. And all seniors and their family members are welcome to come in and get a meal. And they can also drop off supplies. And we're going to talk about different ways they can help as well. Our director, Anna Sanchez, is going to be touching on where they can do this, how you can access it. We're also doing meal delivery. So if you can't make it, we are also providing that service right now. If you have questions, call 311. Also, just to give you an idea of what our city is stepping up to do right now, we've served over 10,000 meals since the pandemic began. So with more on this, working very hard every day and doing an outstanding job, our Director of Senior Affairs, Anna Sanchez.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, my name is Anna Sanchez, and I have the honor of being in charge of the Department of Senior Affairs at this critical time for our seniors. Our department remains committed to making sure that our seniors that are most vulnerable are being taken care of. I would like to thank specifically our employees that show up every day, some as early as 4 o'clock in the morning, to make sure that food is prepared and ready to go out the door. We are working to be as responsive as possible, and we are encouraging folks to contact our Senior Information Assistance Line for senior-specific information on programs and resources. That phone number is 505-764-6400. As I mentioned, focusing on getting food out to seniors is right behind me here at North Valley Senior Center. More than a week ago, we took proactive measures and closed our senior centers for programs and activities so that we could truly focus on getting nutritious meals out the door. This was in an effort to encourage social distancing and make sure that we focus on our services. So not only the meals, but we're still providing transportation for those 60 and older, and our care coordination services. I can't thank our experienced care coordination team enough for answering and calming folks' questions that are coming in and making sure that we're still available to do assessments and referrals for programs in the community. As Mayor mentioned, we are turning our centers into grab-and-go sites, faster than McDonald's, Wendy's, I must brag, and it's a way for us to connect with those folks that usually come to our centers. We can get them the food that they need and also answer specific questions that they may have. Additionally, our home-delivered meal program. This has always been in existence, but we've expanded during this crisis because we know that there are homebound seniors that may not have direct family members and are unable to go out on their own. So we encourage individuals that may fit that criteria to contact our Senior Information Assistance Line to get on that emergency distribution. Now, I know this can be a stressful time for everyone. Fear and anxiety can be overwhelming, and this causes a lot of strong emotions, not only for our seniors, but let's not forget about the caregivers, those individuals that are taking care of perhaps their elder parents as well as maybe children in the home. So it's a time for us to be able to reach out as a community and to please contact us if we can be of any assistance. We will get through this time as one Albuquerque. It's a time for us to be together and to be able to reach out to that elder neighbor that perhaps lives on your street. Call your loved ones. I'm doing FaceTime with my parents. I have the only grandchild, and she does FaceTime with them every day just to check on them, and they love seeing her face. It brings them joy. Please only go out if you need necessities, but know that our department is here for you, and we will continue to be a resource for you and provide services and information at this time. So please contact our Senior Information Assistance Line at 764-6400. Thank you so much.
What's for lunch today? The hot lunch.
Oh, I'm sorry?
Do you know what the hot lunch is today?
What is the hot lunch today?
We got red chili enchiladas.
Oh, it looks great. So hot lunch today, red chili
We got a lot of
enchiladas.
compliments on yesterday's food as well.
And so I would just add, first I want to make sure and just thank all the staff. Many of them are walking past and working while we're doing this. Thank you so much. Our senior centers, in Albuquerque, we are one of the few cities in all of America that has a robust senior center program. And we are so fortunate to have that, especially now. And so this is really a point where we're one of the top cities in the country when it comes to what we do for our seniors. And especially now, we're demonstrating that as well. So want to mention too, this does include our multi-gen centers. So a lot of folks ask, and just remember, so our big ones, North Domingo, Baca, and Manzano Mesa, it also includes them. We are here today at our North Valley Senior Center. Okay, a couple of other things that I want to touch on. Number one, that there's also a related myth that this virus only really impacts seniors. I think there's been a lot of work done at the state and others. We just want to remind folks, this does impact everyone, right? So there's a level of vulnerability that we acknowledge. That's why we're talking about our seniors today. But we've seen even in our own state, an infant has been listed as infected. And we also have lots of folks, 40s, 20s, and 30s that have also been identified as testing positive. So that's just one myth that we wanted to stay shared with you today. Okay, I also want to throw out one other, we're going to do two today. Animals so far do not spread at all the coronavirus. So right now, it's actually also a great time to adopt a pet by reservation only. Contact our animal welfare department to do that. Okay, I think with that, we're about ready to take questions. Takeout last night was Matucci's for our family. All right, any questions in person?
Over the past few weeks, have you seen either an increase or a decrease in crime with the closures and school being out and all that?
So the crime situation right now in Albuquerque is holding steady and actually down slightly. So we've seen a decrease in the number of calls, and we really appreciate everyone respecting 911. So do not call 911 for any other reason other than an emergency. Call 311. If it's COVID related, call the state hotlines. And if you want to report something that's not an emergency, 242 COPS. So far, actually, we've been in a very good situation with respect to more people being home. There's a lot of theories on this. That could be why crime is slightly down, but we also are worried about child abuse and domestic violence. These are typically crimes of passion that are conducted in the home. And so we want folks to be extra vigilant there. There are hotlines to call for all of those topics, which are available on our website.
Okay, so one question from the journal who's watching on Zoom. In your conversations with the grocers, did they ask you to lift the plastic bag ban?
Yes, they did. And they explained to me why, and overall, there are a couple of components. We do know that there has been a shortage on paper bags that was reported. This is non-corona related. This was just because everyone all across the country is moving away from plastic. So one grocer mentioned the challenge, they're having trouble getting paper bags. Others just mentioned that, it's just been complicated to sort through all these bag questions during this time. And so those are the two requests that we're really honoring today.
Has APD had to change the way that they had to prevent crime with all these closures and stuff? I know that we had mentioned there's been an uptick in patrol at like Walmarts and stuff like that, but outside of that, has there been a change with APD?
So what APD is trying to do is have a heavier neighborhood patrol presence, and they're able to do that because there's actually less community meetings to go to. So we're just shifting all of that to street patrol. We also have been, whenever there are spikes in runs to the grocery store, we've been supplementing with firefighters or DMD security or APD at our big retailers like Costco and things like this. But we have noticed that really only happens, there's a spike when there's a new announcement, and then it actually goes down to the sort of brisk pace that we're seeing all across our city. Brisk is okay. And so far, their current security programs have been able to deal with that.
Are there certain types of crime that you guys have seen that are more prevalent now?
So right now, we have not seen a particular spike. What we're worried about is crimes of passion in the home, which are typically domestic violence and child abuse. So that's what we're worried about. Knock on wood, so far, we haven't seen major spikes in those. Okay. All right, we will see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.
Muy bien.